All right, hello everybody. This is one of the beauties of being on a live show. There's always gremlins and catches. So I'm sorry we're a little bit late today, but it is October 12th of 2021. Thanks for joining us for this episode of Tech Talk. We're just back from Trail Hero, and I've got a ton of stuff to tell you guys. So we're gonna start off a little bit different today because I've got a lot of stuff to show you. And of course, we're here to talk about your favorite subject and mine, Jeeping. So stick around, and I'm sure we'll have something interesting for you to listen to. As always, we welcome your questions and comments. I've got Debbie, Jamie, and Alex here today to help me pull this off. And trust me, it's at least a 4-person operation. As everybody saw last week, we were in Utah for Trail Hero, and it was a great time. We went out there with a ton of resources, showed up in force, and it was awesome not only to have all of our crew there, but our ambassadors, and just get out there and wheel our butts off. It's always good for the soul to get a little rock therapy, right? So, all right. So as always, we welcome your questions and comments. Type them in. Deb, anybody notable on so far?
Heck yeah. We got Corey Horton. We've got Nathan Ecker, Kelly Sims, Cord Killinger, BB Chom.
Nice.
Terry Runyon, Deborah Carnell, Anthony Paquette, Nana GenRight, BKTJ, Bobby Belomi, Jeremy Balke, Stephen Horsch, Esther Parrott Newcomb, Terry Mode,
Nice.
Jay Suver, and Jim Snyder.
I know, and I'll be honest with you guys. Obviously, Debbie just mentioned a bunch of people. We, GenRight crew, was stoked to see how many people were wearing the blue Tech Talk shirts out there. So big shout out to everybody who wore their shirt, everybody that I talked to there that mentioned that they were watching the Tech Talks. We really appreciate that, and we're really glad to hear that you guys find them so useful and helpful. So we're doing our best to bring you good, relevant, topics and content. So yeah, very, very cool to get to see and talk to everybody. So awesome. All right, I was going to talk about featured product because we had plenty of people that ran out of gas or had fuel problems. Our fuel pump access plate. I want to remind everybody about that is an inexpensive, easy thing to add to your Jeep, and keeps you from having to drop the tank in order to get to your fuel pump. So don't forget about that. All right, so the GenRight presence, as you can see here, was second to none. Jamie, are we zoomed in on this? Can I rock and roll? I don't know where the remote went. Sorry. All right. Let's hit play on this bad boy. Of course, the aftershock, and I got to be honest, it shined here and exceeded my expectations. Of course, we had the aftershock, the Banshee, Growler, Silver Surfer, Bombshell, had a ton of our vehicles out here. Chris Calkins was also out with his JL, all GenRight outfitted as well. This looks like the beginning of Double Sammy. So good little trail, nice climbs. Yeah, the aftershock was just glued to the rocks. It really did very well, and like I say, it exceeded my expectations. So this was the first time that I've had multiple days in a row with a variety of trails, everything from a 7, 8, 9, and 10 to be able to be out on it, trying different climbs and stuff. There's Jeff in the Banshee. That thing worked great, and he was having a good time. I know that Andrew in his pay dirt LJ, he came back just completely reinvigorated with energy about Jeeping, which is cool. Jamie drove like a champ. He's really getting the hang of the Growler, and just good timing. Good lines, just really, I think, finally in tune with the torque converter and the way it's delivering the power. Doing great. This looks like another video, or it just jumps?
It's just gonna
Okay.
jump. Yeah.
So I don't recognize this obstacle offhand, but we had Peter in Maximus, we had Alan, I don't know what he's calling that one. We had Terry in his low LJ. We had quite a few people. Where is it?
Double Sammy.
Double Sammy also. I mean, look at that line of Jeeps we got. Like, holy cow. Oh, this was the like bonus line little option kind of like halfway through. And of course, you just saw, Aftershock just climb this thing. It really worked awesome. And these are just DOT tires. So I want to remind everybody about that. And of course, I've got my fridge in the back. So, we're completely equipped with cold drinks and lunch. So ready to go. It was great to not have the top on and just be out there. So just
started raining.
Until it started raining. Deb, any questions or comments so far? Everybody's just watching.
Matt Lopresti, on a JK with your cage, where do you mount the lap belts for a 5-point?
The lap belts for a 5-point.
On a JK with your cage.
So you got a couple of options. You can the lap belts come with their own mounts that can be bolted down, and you can rebolt them on top of the factory seat belt mounts. Or if you buy our seat mounts, they have the mounts built into them. So look at this. I mean, this thing this is the crack option, probably like 3/4 of the way through. And I've got the Auburn E-lockers and those DOT tires. Look at that. It's just hooking up and I'm driving right through there. I don't know if a lot of you saw, that's the new 30-gallon tank and the EXS rear bumper. Super high clearance, really nice. That's working great. So yeah, good stuff. And a lot of you had never seen our little GR dune flags either, so that's kind of cool as well. But look at how that suspension is working, the dampening, everything was just right on. I must have given, 20 different rides. I mean, it was really awesome to be out there. And of course, the views are phenomenal. This is a great shot. Oh, this is like straight up, that obstacle. Look at that, I didn't even slip a tire. I mean, just incredible. Did you slip any tires on that, James?
Which one?
On this one, you're gonna come up in a couple here. Oh, there's Jeff, little wheelie, nice.
I think so.
You're next, maybe we'll get to see it.
I just think it's stickies.
Yeah, Jamie always wants to run stickies, but he does just fine with his DOTs. Oh, you got a little wheelie too? Oh, turning early, interesting.
Yeah, gotta do it.
Not sure I would have done that, but okay, good job. Who's this? Peter. Peter was driving like a champ out there in Maximus. Look at that. I mean, all these guys, Mickey Thompson's just doing great. I put a new torque converter in with a different stall. We made a few other changes, and he was getting used to that. That was cool. Here's Chris Calkins. He's on a little smaller tire, so you can see that makes a little difference. Plus, he doesn't have our flat belly skid. So there's that ground clearance we're always talking about, right? Alan, of course, does have the flat belly skid, so you'll probably, I don't know if Chris is going to launch this or what he's going to do. Try a little bit different angle. Oh, he's close. There you go, nice.
Hey, Tone, we got a trailer-related question.
Okay.
Tom Drake. Tony, can you think of a particular trail or terrain where you would choose a short wheelbase JK as opposed to a long wheelbase as in a JKU?
So that's a great question. On, what was it, Thursday or Friday, our day was, trail day was on Double Sammy as well. We had a Gladiator out there. And of course, there's a fine line between too much wheelbase, where you can't get the right breakover. So I'll be honest, we've really found lately that 115 to 119 seems to be, if you've got the flat belly, right, the right breakover, all those things we've been talking about our tech talks, has really worked out good. Here's a great shot of the chute coming up here. This looks like somebody standing up on top. If you've never been on this obstacle, it's pretty cool. Getting lined up at the beginning is key, or you fall in the crack. So I know we got a few different views of this, I think. So pretty cool. Peter's Jeep just ran like a champ, man. That thing was awesome. And then I don't know how many people know about it, but this right here is the bonus line. Oh, there I am. I'm on it. So that's quite a bit more difficult. So, you know, we watched a lot of guys with shorter wheelbases on the bonus line really flogging the heck out of their Jeep. I definitely would not have done that to mine. So, you know, guys, if you want to drive like a rock bouncer, your Jeep will do that a few times, but it's going to break on you at some point. So this is the bonus line, or the extra credit. Jeff looks like he's doing it well. And if you hit the line right, you can literally just crawl over that like it's a paved highway. So just like that. So pretty darn cool. You can stand at this obstacle and watch people struggle and struggle and struggle. So now we're kind of back to the beginning of the loop.
There
So
should be more after this.
you wanna? I'll let you get to that. More questions, Deb, while we're waiting for the next video to queue? Oh, here we go. All right, so we're gonna go right to this. Today, we are gonna talk about roll cages, the importance of a roll cage. I can tell you that every single day we were out here, we saw somebody roll or that had rolled. For the first couple days, there was this, I don't know if it was a TJ or an LJ, that was yard sale, just sitting down on the sand. And guys and gals, the roll cage cannot be underestimated. You really need a good roll cage. Here's a great example why. I had come through here. This is on the Unforgiven. This is a 10 trail. On top of that, it is wet. You can see the water. The sand is wet. There's water at the bottom. You can't see it, but see this hole? There's bigger holes in the face of this. I went, I think Cameron was behind me, then Alan, or Jamie was in here somewhere, and then Shane. There's a bunch more behind us. We had like 13 rigs on this trail. This is about as far away as you can get from where we were camped. So it takes a good like 30 minutes of hauling butt to even get here. So watching this, I want to show you a few different things. One, Shane elected for, which most people do with the JK, a single bar in the front. I'm not a fan of that, and he opted for the aluminum roof very smartly, because you're gonna see this get used in just a second. So let's watch it. He's repositioning to try and get the line. So keep in mind, his Jeep normally goes up anything he points it at. He's got a lot of confidence in driving this Jeep. And that's how quick it happens, okay? So I don't know how familiar you are with rolling, but going over backwards is the worst case. Because you've got the weight of the motor pulling that front end down, it really leaves you with quite a shock. So they were fine, everything was good, and we were able to get them turned over in about 45 seconds. Fortunately, this Jeep driver was on it, and the guys all jumped in. So we were able to get him turned over real quick.
Well, you flipped off his ignition before
He said he did it in midair.
Yeah.
Probably right about there.
Yeah.
Once he knew he was going. So that was a pretty sketchy obstacle. We got more. Okay, so here's Jamie on same obstacle. I didn't even get to see this, so this ought to be interesting. Uh-oh.
Why is it doing that?
Come on.
I think the video is too
Oh, too big?
Too big?
Big.
Ah. Oh, so Jeff was behind me. Okay.
It's weird because it's all from my phone.
Really? Huh.
Huh. Well, if we just replay it?
Oh, nope.
Interesting.
Oh, that's weird. Like try and let it catch up or something?
Huh.
Oh, go to the next one. Okay. Maybe. Maybe not.
Doesn't like any of these.
We were trying to show you Shane's Jeep upside down. Oh, jeez. All right, is it time to go back over to the other TV?
Not quite. Let's see if I can get this one to work.
There we go. Even just pause it right there, right? Okay, so you guys know we offer a bumper with what we call a grill bar. If Shane had had the grill bar, it would have saved his radiator. In this case, it broke his overflow tank, it broke the radiator, and that really prevented Shane from being able to drive back. Windshield wasn't too bad, aluminum roof did its job. Like, honestly, it survived quite well for going over backwards. Now you can kind of look up and see how big this obstacle is. I mean, it's significant. So, it happens, you know, and we actually are already in the process of getting this repaired, so it's not too bad. But some days it happens. I mean, we're all out there wheeling the tougher stuff. The fact that the tires were kind of wet and muddy didn't help at all. So, and of course, Alex's girlfriend, Kristen, was in there, so she got to go for the
She kept
total
her
ride.
cool. She handled it great.
Yeah. Yeah, she's quite the trooper.
Yes, she is.
So, yeah, Cord was the Boy Scout with the winch, so that worked out pretty good. Yeah. And needless to say, we worked our way back to camp after this. So we were trying to get a super early morning run in, so yeah. Any questions on this, Deb?
Jeremy Balky asked how Aftershock did in the dunes.
Oh, it
The
did
sand
great.
dunes.
And
We have pictures of it.
I think Kelly or Peter, you know, one of the guys with the V8 can chime in. It's fast. I mean, it rips. And it's not like I got extra power, but there's no problem with going fast, that's for sure.
Just quiet.
It's just quieter. Kelly likes the transmission. He calls them the farts when it shifts. So, because it's got that electronic thing. So, yeah. So, do we have more on this, Alex? Or
That's it.
okay. So, all right. Let's go back over to our regular. Do I have more slides on this as well?
You do. They're probably not quite in order.
Okay, that's fine. Deb, more questions before I move on?
No, you can go ahead.
Okay. All right, so obviously questions and comments are welcome. We already talked about the featured product. Of course, go over to our website. By the way, don't forget about the search bar up here. You can type in any part of the part number or any part of the description and you'll find whatever you're looking for. Okay, so this is the bumper that Shane will now be going to. The guys, people, when we first built, it's up here somewhere, the Burgundy JK, I had this kind of bumper on it, and then people in the JK market didn't like it, so I had to change it out. But it has a significant purpose. If you look at all of our TJs, you know, YJs, everybody's got this grill bar. Everybody's learned over time that it is important and it does serve a purpose. So you should consider that if you're going for your next. So here, look down the line. Maximus, grill bar. Silver Surfer, grill bar. Growler, grill bar, right? Jeff's Banshee, grill bar, right? There's a reason for it. And yeah, it definitely makes a difference. So, and the extra, I'll bet it's only like 6 pounds for the bar. Like it's nothing in the scheme of things. So this was a picture right when we got there. There was a little dune right across from the the RV. So we ran over there and got a picture. Let's see what else we got. Oh, here's a better group shot. So let's see. Looks like, oh, this is the Growler with a spare tire on it. Aftershock, right? Kelly and the Silver Surfer, Cord, Bombshell, Jeff, Banshee, Maximus, or is that Terry? Terry and Low LJ, Maximus here. That was Bear Rand, right? Who got to wheel with us that day? Oh no, that's you. Then Bear Rand, okay. Then Cameron, Tommy Dykstra was there in Noisy Boy. Who else did we have there?
Tommy's co-driver.
Oh yeah, and Alan, and then Craig. Okay,
Josh, right? Josh?
No, I don't think Josh was with us on this trail because this was Plan B. So I wanted to talk about a number of the trails we ran. So obviously we ran Plan B, Double Sammy, Triple Sevens, Milt Mile, The Fallen, Sliplock Gulch, Unforgiven, and we ran like everything in between. And some of these trails we ran 2 and 3, 4 times. So it worked out great. We got a ton of wheeling in. We were wheeling like first thing in the morning, then we did like a midday run, and often ended up doing a night run. And as usual, my night runs reminded me of one of my 10 commandments of nothing good happens at night. So we're going to publish all those pretty soon too as well. It's where Jamie got his flat, Peter ran out of gas, Jeff ran out. I mean, we just had like all kinds of stuff. Yeah, really. And by the way, I'm happy to report that the 30-gallon tank and the Aftershock allowed me to run pretty much the whole week. I think we added 5 gallons like toward the end just to be safe, but it was doing great. So that was cool. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, okay. So here's one of the night. That's actually a great shot. We took off right out of the tunnel, and that trail is called Nasty Half. And there's a reason for that, because it is nasty. So what happens is this canyon gets more and more narrow. So we turn up, and you can climb this right here, but it's like bombing up backdoor. I mean, it's steep. And all 3 of us made it. And we had a pretty good time that night. This was the last time that I ran the tire carrier because this was so steep that it dug into the sand. Fortunately, that was sand down there. If that would have been hard, it would have been really bad. But that's how steep that is. So that was fun. It was cool. And if you, by the way, if you think you're totally badass sometime, just work your way up Nasty Half and it'll humble you. We spent a lot of nights hanging out by the fire. And of course, Peter was out there from Virginia. Looks like Nick, my co-driver. That's probably Shasta, Jamie. Debbie's probably over here someplace. So oftentimes we had 30, 40 people hanging out in the evening. So pretty nice. We had some nice weather and we had some not nice weather, but all in all, pretty good. Oh, here it is. This is the one I was telling you that yard sailed, but it did have our cage. So the guy had a bunch of, GenRight parts on it too, but it was one of those things where this thing sat out. Like, this is where all the runs line up right here, and it sat there for a few days until they gathered it up. So you definitely want to make sure you have a cage. This was a picture of once we got parked, we took a couple pictures just of the area. This is when we were getting ready to go out on that night run. Cameron, this is a popular view of Cameron's. I think he used to be in the rodeo, because he seems pretty comfortable in this position. Yeah. So
I think Rhett liked it.
He did. His son, yeah.
Yeah.
So how old is his son? Is he like 2 or 3 or 4? Yeah. He was riding with him the whole time, having a great time. So that was cool. So there's Cord and the Bombshell. He was wheeling like a champ as well. And this looks like our trail day when it was raining. So you're gonna love this, right? All the trails in here lined up at 8 o'clock, like left at 8 o'clock, lined up at 7, left at 8. You see how many people are on the other trails? 0. Everybody no-showed for all those except for our trail, Double Sammy. So not only did they show up, but we had to do 2 rows because there was so many people. So yeah, it was cool. We got out there, we did it, and made it count. So that. Oh, we do? Okay, let's see what else we got. Oh yeah, here we go. I mean, there was a lot of well-built rigs on the run. That was totally cool. There's Shane out there having a good time. And driver's meeting, of course. So that's always good. And then a lot of the time we hid out under the awning or one of the, you can see that it's wet in the background. So we had our little fire pit and we were trying to stay out of the elements. So that was cool. By the way, you know, we had Andrew, Keith, and Jeff. All of our sales guys were out here, including Shane. So we had quite a bit of staff out there. And it was great to have them be able to meet a lot of our customers that they talked to on the phone. So that was cool. Andrew had a great time. His Jeep worked great. So again, also on the DOT version of the Mickey Thompson Baja Boss. So yeah, it was a little sloshy.
That's a neat picture.
That's a great picture.
Yeah.
Up on top, the view up there is just great. So pretty cool.
Hey, Tom, we got a cage-related question.
Sure.
Corey Allen Coleman has an 06 LJ. He's asking, how difficult is it for an adult to get in and out of the back seat when the cage has the harness bar?
So, you know, when I first had the Growler, you know, I had the X bar, you know, harness bar. I had all the bars, right? Kids were younger, but they treated it like a jungle gym and just slipped right in. But that's also provided that you don't have a top on or you have the window out or something. But yeah, you know, the people in the back are going to either get in from the side or the back. So yeah, it's a little bit tougher. And if they're kids, like it's no big deal. They're plenty flexible. So LJ, I thought it was LJ.
I think it was.
I thought he said 06 LJ.
Sorry.
If it's a JK, it's no problem.
Yeah, because like
Oh,
Karen sat in the back.
Yeah.
LJ.
LJ, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, for those of you with a JK, one time we stuffed 12 people in Shane's to go over the back door. There's no problem with people in the back seat. So, like, it
Well, I think he was
works.
just asking about getting in and out.
I know that's
with
what
the
he was
bar.
asking
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
Now I'm making a point about the JK because we're always like, oh, the bar, like the X, blah, blah, blah. It's not a problem. Wear a seatbelt and your face won't hit it.
And an LJ is way easier to get in and out of the back seat than like a TJ.
Yes,
Because there's a
more
big
space. That's right. Yep.
Zach Guptill would like to know what radio system y'all run at an event like this on your trail days.
Yeah, good question. So we were all on a rugged race radio. Some had handheld, some had in-car units or base units. Everything works fine. I did bring my GRMS stuff just in case we had somebody in our group. And I know there was other people on the CBs still, but they weren't with us. So the race radios were great, I thought.
Yeah, I can hear you guys.
The only time Jamie couldn't hear me was when he was on the gas, because it was like with his V8.
Oh yeah.
So
Like when you guys were over, you guys were somewhere when I was swapping my tire.
and you can still hear us
I can hear you on my
up on the mountain. Yeah. So the range was good. I know, you know, like Tommy Dykstra or Kelly was back at camp, and they wanted to find us. And by the way, we also, as a group, we have an app called Life 360, and it's a tracking app. So they could literally just pull up, go, oh, Tony's over there, and just head that way and find us. And that, by the way, I think that got used every day.
We
So
use it to find you when you guys
Yeah.
stop really quick.
Yeah.
So Yeah, super handy, all that stuff. So, and then, you know, of course, I think the best program out there that we used for finding the trails was Cardo Tracks. So, and that's something you need to download before you get there because the self-service isn't, it's good, but it's not great.
And then you have to download the map.
Yes.
But I think the app is called, or the website is Avenza.
Avenza.
There's like
Oh, is the app.
There's like
Avenza's the app,
Cardo
Cardo Tracks. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, Deb.
Jeremy Balke, is the windshield V-bar as recommended as the X-bar on a JKU cage?
Well, here's what I can tell you. You want all the bars. If you know you really want to survive a rollover, you want as many bars in there as you can get. The A pillar is going to get all the weight, right? The engine's up there. That's where it's going to sit. So, you know, and Shane was pretty lucky that he landed in the sand. But, you know, Jamie and I have been in Parker where people, you know, on something about that steep, not even that steep, went up and looped it from the top. And when they hit the bottom, like, I don't even know how the people survive.
Well, then you have places like Black Bear Pass above Telluride.
Where they're
you know,
going
where
several times.
they can roll hundreds and hundreds of feet. So the more protection you have, the better.
Yeah. So, yeah, Jamie's got the V-bar, Jeff's got the V-bar, I will have the V-bar. So Val, bless her heart, reminded me every time I started to go fast in the aftershock that I still had a stock cage. So she was very quick to point that out.
And there's no reason not to have the bars. Like the V-bar, a lot of people think it like affects your visibility.
I know, and it doesn't at all. You never see them. You know, on my old race car, they're 2-inch diameter. They're huge. And you just look right through them. Trust me, you never see them. It's not a big deal. And if you're that worried about it, you can even paint them black. Like it's not a big deal. So, but great question. Let's see what else we got here. Oh yeah, John Brownwood. I almost forgot about him.
Yeah,
He was
where are
out
you,
there,
John?
and in rare form, as you can see.
That was such a good barbecue.
Yeah, he
So
cooked
good.
a ton of stuff. We had a lot of help all week. You know, people were running the store for us and getting stuff. This was a great night.
awesome.
We just cooked up a smorgasbord worth of stuff, and
Yeah.
everybody grabbed whatever they felt like. And
It was a caveman's dream meal because it was all protein.
yeah, and I only came back 2 pounds heavier. I checked this morning, so somehow that's like a miracle. But yeah. It was awesome.
Great job.
And
Yeah,
by
you
the
did.
way, you know, for those watching, we were up before the sun came up every single day. And I don't know about you guys, but I wasn't in bed till 11, midnight. I mean, it was late. Late.
Dark.
So
Long days.
every day that was stacking up. I know everybody that works here is like dragging their butt. Even right before the show, I had to drink a cup of coffee so I could like get a little energy, come out of my coma. So, but yeah, John was out there, huge help. Of course, he is our chef / cook at KOH for the team.
yep.
So, awesome guy if you've never
Yep.
met him. Oh, here we go. Here's the crowd in our area. So, this is pretty much what it looked like anytime the Jeeps were back.
This was a night it wasn't raining.
Yeah, so it was a little more friendly. We've got, I see Adam and Kayla and Shasta and Andrew and Peter and Nick.
Cam.
I mean,
I see Cameron.
yeah, Cameron's in there. Shane's in there. I see the red hat anyways. So, yeah, it was awesome. There was people in between the Jeeps and outside the Jeeps. So,
Of course, Tony's with all the women.
what's that?
I said, of course, Tony's with all the women.
Where? Oh, right here.
Of course he is.
Well, what can I say? I don't even know what to say. At least Debbie's there. She's in the circle. And Shasta's wearing my jacket. Yeah.
We've got a seat cage related question
Sure.
from Zach.
Sure.
Zach Guptill.
Zach Guptill.
When running PRP seats, how viable is a harness bar to run harnesses? Obviously, a full cage is the best way to go, but that's always, that's a ways out, especially if I go TJ to LJ conversion. My stock seats are shot and want to upgrade sooner than later.
Okay, so a couple things. We make a universal bar that's bent to get around your factory seats. You can clamp it on, you can weld it on. There's a bunch of different ways to do that. It's cheap, and you can add that to your stock cage. It's like a lunchbox locker. It's a temporary solution, okay? I do not want that to be your permanent solution. You should not feel like you're safe. You did add a bar to the cage. Bars help, right? So that's good. It needs to be near shoulder height when it's mounted on the cage so that the belts don't pull you down. But keep in mind, with a 5-point, in order to make them effective, you need the center strap, the crotch strap, and the lap is what holds you in. All the shoulders do is keep you from smacking the steering wheel. Okay, those do not hold you down or you'll compress your back. And we've talked about this several times on Tech Talk, even with the PRP guy here, so just keep that in mind. But yes, factory seatbelts are not good enough. Like you definitely need harnesses. I know, even when it reminds me of the time that Jamie got his side-by-side. He took it for one drive and came back and he's like, I'm not driving this thing anymore. Like, it's sketchy. Like with the factory seatbelt, it's not enough.
I need seats, I need a cage,
Yeah.
I need harnesses.
Yeah, so, depending on the fabric of your seat, I'm a quick one to complain about that. I hate slippery seats. Like if that was my vehicle, I'd get sandpaper and get out there and I'd turn it into suede. Like I'm not kidding. You can't have slippery seats. And on top of that, your seatbelt needs to keep you. And think about it. When you roll over, you have no idea how hard. Even when Shane did it, like the impact in a slow rollover is still quite a bit. I mean, just think about. If you just tipped your Jeep over, even if it was sitting still, it's going to make a lot of noise and a big bang. So add any speed to that at all, and you're talking about stuff everywhere. So just keep that in mind.
BB Tom, should seats be mounted to the cage or the floor?
So to the cage is obviously the best. It's a little bit difficult in most Jeeps based on center consoles and the way the floor is. The factory Jeep has really thick reinforcements where the seats are mounted. And keep in mind, the seat belts are then mounted also to the tub, which is where the seats would be mounted to. So the idea is that they keep you safe within the tub and the cage. So this isn't a buggy. You're not trying to save the entire vehicle. I'll be honest with you, most of these Jeeps, when you roll them over, they're pretty much trashed, like that one that I showed you. So you just need to get that in your head, that the cage is to keep you alive. So
Zach, wait. Sorry, lost it. Josh Nasser, how often do you replace your harnesses?
So your harnesses, they do age out, nylon. Whereas I noticed mine in the Terremoto are like super sun faded, so that's not good. If they're in the sun, it's kind of like a nylon winch rope. That'll deteriorate them faster.
And they get stiff.
Yeah, you'll notice like they don't adjust, right? Brand new ones are all like super smooth, and pretty soon you're like, I'm getting rid of these things. They're just bugging me. So, but I would say every couple of years, no more than 3. That's for sure. What else you got?
Thomas Erkey, how do we get out if you're upside down? How do you get out of the Jeep if you're upside down?
So that's a great question. Sometimes, like the last time I rolled, I just stayed in. They were able to hook me fast enough and pull me out.
Yeah.
When you go to get out, your weight is on the seatbelt, right? When you're hanging upside down. So it's not going to release smoothly. And I don't know how many like push-ups you do or, military lifts, but if you can't hold your own weight, even if you can prop yourself and you release that, you're gonna smack your head really hard on the inside of the roof, or if you don't have an aluminum roof, whatever's there, rocks, sticks, whatever. So Just keep that in mind.
If you are upside down getting out, you should make sure you fit in park.
Yeah, so that's the other thing. Shane did a really good job of shutting, once he knew he was going to roll, shut off the engine. That prevents a lot of oil from getting into the cylinders. And then, like Jamie just said, the most common mistake, 100%, is they never put it in park. So when it gets rolled back over, typically it's not flat ground and the Jeep takes off. So, and mows down who's ever in the way or whatever vehicles are there. Like it's a disaster. If you haven't seen, we do make a card. We should upload that.
Yeah, just send
Yeah,
me
we'll put that on our Tech Talk page. So, and then you can at least print out and keep in the glove box, but it's a checklist when you roll over what to do. So it's one for you, and it's one for if you're helping somebody else. So very, very good. And I found mine right after we recovered Shane.
Nice.
In my door bag. So
We had him over so fast it wasn't really good.
I know, no, that was awesome. Our crew is very aware, especially when we're on a hard trail. Like something could happen to anybody, so you just got to be ready to rip. So
Jeff Perkins wanted to know if you're aware that any CJs rolled over the week.
Funny you should mention that. The one that I saw was part of our group, and he had a GenRight cage, and he was fine. He also stayed in while we flipped him back over, but it was our own Keith Lyon, who's been cheating death for quite a while. And
Well, that wasn't Keith's first rollover, was it? I'm pretty sure he's done it before.
I don't know.
I think
The way
he
he
has.
drives, I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh, Keith,
Yeah.
you're getting bashed. See, that's what happens when you're
There
not
you go,
here.
Keith. If he's watching, is Keith watching? He's probably chiming in right now. We call his Jeep the Retro Rocker. I don't know why that wasn't in the big line picture.
He wasn't there.
He wasn't there yet.
Oh,
He got there
Okay.
later in the week.
Okay. So, anyways, let's keep working our way along here. Here's just another shot of some of the Jeeps in our booth. Pay Dirt, Maximus, T-Moto. We put the Growler up on a flex stand, and there was, Craig Goldberg's was on the other side. Right next to the lake. It was really quite nice. And that's the end of all. I'll go back.
And
We got
by the
about-
way,
we got about
we
10
do
minutes.
have that really slick rollover card. It's a laminated rollover card. I think we're selling them on the website.
Are we?
I believe.
Okay.
Jamie?
If not, we're gonna make it something that they
So-
can
I
download.
don't think we're selling them, but I think we're gonna make it a PDF.
Yeah.
There's been a couple of
was gonna go
questions
back.
about what to do in case of a rollover, so
Yeah.
that would be a good thing to make available.
I'm gonna try to airdrop some stuff to this and just drag it into OBS.
Okay. That'd be great.
Make it talk.
Val said, wait, when did Keith roll over?
That was on Milt's Mile, I believe.
He did Three Monkeys.
Yeah. 3 monkeys. It was on that obstacle. So Jamie walked it. Cameron
Pretty much
got up
did.
it. Yeah. There were several people. Yeah. But Cameron, that's like his home turf. So
yeah. he did
beside the fact that he's a great driver and he obviously knows his Jeep. So yeah, he did good. So anyways, guys, we got about 8 minutes left. So fire in those questions. Happy to answer them. We got some time. Oh, Debbie's got more. Let's go.
Ryan Middaw, he is interested in LJ roll cage. Do we have a recommended installer in the San Diego area?
I believe we do. What you need to do is please call in and talk to one of my guys across the street in our other building, and they'd be happy to help you out. I believe we call that now Customer Success Department. So there you go.
Okay. Terry Mode says he needs a Tech Talk shirt. Why doesn't Terry have a Tech Talk shirt?
We had some there too, Terry.
We had
How
some in
did
the
you miss
trailer,
it?
Terry. You should
Yeah.
have said something then.
Come on, Terry.
Okay, so Terry, text Tony or I what your shirt size is, and we'll make
Nope.
sure you get one.
You lost out.
No, he didn't. Stop it. Stop it.
How do you feel about this?
What else you got, Tim?
Kevin Hudson's being a smartass wants to know ETA on JK Corner with taillight update.
He's talking about the new
The
one.
new.
We're expecting, I'm keeping my fingers crossed, that the new tail lights will be here in time for Christmas, and I will have the corner guards ready for that. Meantime, I have, we just updated the corner guards for the JK with the round light. Those are readily available, so if you can't wait, call in and get a set of those. We're doing pretty good on all of our inventory. Maybe tomorrow I'll post a picture of the warehouse. We have a ton of stuff. Keep in mind, everybody, we ordered like a year in advance, so we've got great inventory. If you're looking for something, call in. Don't wait. Get your order in. I talked to several people while we were at Trail Hero that saw my armrests, that saw the half doors, that talked about Christmas gifts and stuff, and I said, get them on order, because that stuff just disappears. So yeah, definitely do not wait. What do you
Kelly Sims, what do you do when you break a U-joint on your front axle shaft so that you do not ruin the rest of your drive line?
Great question, Kelly.
Relevant question.
So hopefully you've upgraded and you have locking hubs. So the first thing you want to do is unlock the hubs, because what you want to do is keep the drive line from spinning anymore. If you break a U-joint, it usually mashes the ears.
I know.
When those spin around, they pop the ball joints out of the knuckle, and you got a giant mess. So what you want to do is get it out of four-wheel drive, get your locker off, just get everything released off that front end. You definitely do not want to drive that front end with power. So if you do, I'm telling you, you're going to make it like another 10 feet and that wheel's going to fall off. So you really want to be careful about that. And we saw that situation out there, and yeah, good reminder, Kel. So.
Jared Norris suggested that we include our rollover card with our roll cage kit.
Oh, we certainly could.
It's not a bad idea.
Yeah. Then that's
Jared.
like carrying tools in your Jeep. You're almost guaranteed not to need them if you have them.
If you have it.
So I like that. It's another one of my commandments.
You got any questions, Mom?
No, go
Jamie-
ahead, honey.
Jamie got some?
Go ahead.
No, I don't have nothing
YouTube.
relevant.
I was told there was questions on YouTube.
We got 5 minutes.
There's like two.
Okay.
What about running axles at 72.5 wheel mount space, 5.5 backspace wheels to achieve even a better scrub radius with the extra width provide the same clearance?
So the question was wider axle. We run 70. This gentleman's asking about 72 with a deeper backspace wheel. Absolutely great. To get that deeper backspace, you're going to have to go to like a Dynatrack knuckle, or you're going to have to go to a 20-inch wheel in order to do that. Because where we're at, like 4 3/4, 5-inch, you're right on the knuckle, the factory Ford knuckle. So yeah, just remember there's clearance issues, and obviously, if you can go 6.5, Jordan's race cars run like 7 or 8-inch backspace. I mean, it's a lot. So yeah, the more you can do, the better that gets. So yep, great question.
One more, carb legal Hemi swap options.
Todd up at Jeep Speed in kind of Central California. I think he's like Fresno or above. Great guy, good resource, can definitely get you hooked up. I know that Dan out of Dakota Customs offers the Hemis, and so does AMW, but Todd is the one that does the installs and gets them through smog for you. So he's going to be your best resource on that. Jeep Speed. Okay. What else we got? Debster?
Zach Guptill with the LJ. What's the difference technically for fastback versus full standard cage? Just the ability to put back the seats?
Yeah, so obviously the seat will still fit back there if you run a fastback, but the people's heads are going to be clearly exposed. So we just take the bar that was, leaning up to protect the occupants, and it leans forward all the way up to the B-pillar. So it's really kind of a look that certain people want. I don't know if we have one of those pictures on here.
Any picture, my Jeep or Kelly's or...
That's a cool shot.
That is really a cool shot. I guess, there we go. So, yeah, so there's the, I don't know if you can zoom in on that. between the two, and you can kind of see the difference. But it pulls that, and basically, you know, when Jamie's got an aluminum roof and it's just over him and the passenger, so you know, your coverage is smaller for sure. So
Yeah, I would never, ever even allow a fastback cage with a rear.
with a seat, yeah, we just tell people not possible. So, and again, it's just a style. So, what do you got, Deb?
Brandon Grayhada just came up with an idea. GenStar, you roll over and it automatically calls Tony's cell phone. That's pretty funny.
I am happy to help recover somebody as long as it's not me. Yeah, I'm all for that. I'm the same way with tools on the trail. You need tools, you can have whatever I got as long as it's not me broken. So
I don't know what BB Tom means by this. Is there a how-to on installing a Waggy 44 and a YJ?
I don't know that I've seen that specifically. I can almost guarantee that the spring purchases need to be moved. It's actually a fairly easy install as long as you're leaving the leaf springs. So, you know, it's not too big of a deal. If you're having trouble finding one of those 44s or you're spending a lot of money for it, I would encourage you to just order like a Courier or Dynatrack 44, and those will come with 60 knuckles, and you'll get locking hubs, and it'll be beefy and strong and high clearance, and so just keep that in mind. What else you got, Deb? Or James?
I got nothing right now.
Okay. We're down to like the last minute, so fire them in.
Tom Erkey suggested Jeep Speed. Todd Custer at Jeep Speed.
Todd Custer, he's the one. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And I also want to give a big shout out to Val Douglas. She was a huge help this year at Trail Hero. Really, she's the one that kind of herds us like cats, and did a great job.
No
of
easy
it.
task, I might add.
Job spot.
She did.
And
She
spotting,
did.
yeah, she did a great
And
job.
getting her ass out of bed at 5 o'clock in
Because
the
she had to
morning
leave earlier
to
than
meet
us
us.
because she lived further away. So
Yeah.
yeah, she was definitely
awesome.
the last one to bed and the first one up. So thanks, Val, from everybody. I'm doing that from everybody in our crew. So
Well, we're at 5.
Yep.
yeah,
We're good.
Okay, all right. Thanks
up.
everybody for watching. We'll be back on Thursday, and we'll have more cool stuff to talk about. So look forward to seeing you then.